Hey everybody, this is Grace, and this is my third time to try to make this video. I had some couple of things, like a big delivery truck, decide that they were going, the woman, I saw her as she passed by, and I let her know that I wanted to know what she thought she was doing. But she was coming from the other direction and just apparently thought that she owned the road and I had to move out of her way. Some people. And I'm going to talk about some people in this video. This is the third time I'm trying to do it. My voice is going out. You can hear it. It does it. Allergies. But the first thing that happened is I had to go back home and get Adam's SUV because mine had as soon as I left, like got around the corner basically, and started binging me that one of the tires was low, and I just filled up that tire like a week or two ago. Had it filled up. Okay, so it must have a hole or something in it, which is rather interesting. I guess it doesn't matter how old the tire is, but I bought that SUV new, like May 2019, and it has about 3,500 miles, 3,500 miles, because of what's been going on in the world these days since 2020. I really haven't driven it much, so I put about 3,500 miles on it, and the tire has really, unless I just ran over something somewhere, yeah, that can happen. But it doesn't matter how old the tires are. I guess it does in a way, right? I don't know. I'm not that kind of person who would know. But anyway, I like mine better. His is bigger, it's bulkier, and mine actually, if there's about to be an accident, it stops, or it slows it to a stop, as much as it can. I always like that. I don't go recklessly because of it, but I like that. Anyway, get all that kind of stuff out of the way. Besides that, I'm going to go get us something to eat, and that's basically one of the main purpose behind this video. I'd made a video this morning about some really, truly disgusting things I've seen on video by these people. Some of them, it's not all of them. It's not all of them in any of this. Okay, but some of them that were showing, they were on video, and these are delivery people, like for food or groceries and or, some of them do more than one place, do it for, contract through, subcontract through, and they don't work for the, restaurant or the store or whatever. They work for these other companies through them. They subcontract. That's what I would call it. That's what I do call it. But anyway, they're disgusting behaviors, gross, just disgusting things. Like here they are, they're picking up people's food, whether it's groceries or from a restaurant, whatever, and they do things like they cough into their hand. Nothing, no tissue paper is used in any of them for any of them. Nothing. They put their finger in their ear, all around it, while they're on whatever they want to call it, on a pickup, on an order, when they're out delivering. They do that with their ear. I've seen them wipe the sweat off their face without anything, no cleaning their hand, nothing, while they're touching other people's product, other people's property. When the customer pays for that, that's that customer's property. Okay, and they are the ones that I'm talking about. Not all of them, like I said. They do such gross things. That, and like take their thumb on one nostril, their index finger on the other, and shake their nose, like they're shaking something out of it, and they must, have an itch. And then they're touching people's products. So gross. And I there was one I had left out of the video I made about that, and I forgot. Then I remembered it afterwards, and now I've forgotten again. But there was so many just gross behaviors, coughing over, like having the bag of whatever the person bought from the restaurant, in the bag, and they have it in their lap, and then they start coughing. Okay, one of them was they go to a store and they're doing the shopping, and they turn their head to cough, no mask on, just turn their head and cough right on the products that are on the shelves. Okay, I mean, it just goes on and on. So today just this morning, I made that video. The day before, I made one that Adam and I, yesterday or day before, Adam and I were talking about that we were going to switch back to, because of the new variant, the Delta variant, we were going to switch back to having things delivered. Well, I'd already seen a little bit here and there. You think it's not that common, but then when I started watching these things more, and especially the last 2 or 3 days, I'm like, this is totally gross. And I was telling him that I've changed my mind again, and he has the right to change his or not. To go and get these things ourselves. And because at least, like I was telling him, it takes a little while to process all this. At least, like I was telling him, that the food handlers, the actual food handlers in these restaurants, they have certain guidelines from what I have heard in the past. This is Texas. I don't know if it's everywhere or what, but I remember something. I don't know any details, real details about it, but that they had to follow certain procedures, and of course, they're handling people's food. Okay, and I think they may have had to have a license, the main one, or certification, or whatever it is they had to have. And if anything else, came from it, I think what I remember, I could be wrong on all this, but if something was breached, I guess, they weren't doing it right or whatever, it falls back on the person who has that whatever it is, license or certification or whatever. I don't know, I could be wrong. But at least they have something. They have guidelines. They have people watching them. If somebody's sitting there putting their thumb and their forefinger on their nose and shaking it. Oh, and also running their hands through their greasy hair, oily, greasy hair. And, like I said, wiping the sweat off their face. Oh, and rubbing their eyes. I think maybe I did mention that. Like they were trying to dig something out of their eye, the corner of their eye. Oh my goodness. Like I said, no tissue was ever used in any of those. But it just goes on. So I think, if a person working in the restaurant should be abiding by some rules here, and they are being, they could be watched by another employee who would tell the manager, hey, this was gross, and that's not how you handle food. Somebody else's property, to be at least. And so that. But what about groceries? Well, I was telling him maybe the same thing. Maybe I have to switch back. I'd already put some stuff on order, took it off of one, and put it on another app. Some groceries. But I told him, I said we're going to have to go and pick it up. At least maybe the people in the store, have to abide by some kind of rules too. These delivery drivers, they don't seem to think so. If they have the nerve to put themselves on video, I don't think they're doing it on purpose. They're not talking about it. They're just doing it by habit, or I guess I could just say habit. To do all these things, wipe the sweat off their face while they're handling, these customers' items. My goodness. And I was, I've told Adam these things, and he was like, they're just trash. They're just trash. I would not say that it's all for all of them. And like I said, not all of them do these things. So, okay. Where was that, all this? But, yeah, I just went and got us some stuff at a chicken place. And, but I'm, like I told Adam, I don't know which would be safer at this point. We got to eat. Okay, if it was just deal directly with the place, have them do the shopping. And but before I told them, I said I worry, because like when these people, they put your groceries in the back of your car or your whatever, We have SUVs. But they, they're actually in the SUV practically, the way they're putting it in there and all. And, but still, after seeing what some of these delivery people do, some of them, like I say, and they just have the nerve. Are they that? Well, they must be. Because, for one, they're doing it while they have people's property in their care temporarily to be delivered. They're doing it. They're doing all this gross, disgusting stuff. And then they're putting it on video and they're not seeing it. They're really not seeing that this is gross and disgusting. So, like I say, we might go back and forth on this because that Delta variant is really bad from what they are saying. And he's had his shots to arm. I'm going to be seeing a doctor sometime. I have an adrenal disorder, and I don't know if it's a good idea to have it or not. So, now, I think I already had COVID back last year in February, maybe late January it started. And back then they were just telling people if it's not severe, don't go into the hospital. They really didn't know all the symptoms back then. I had especially is it called anosmia, where you don't have your sense of smell or whatever it is. But mine was smell and taste too, of course. But and I had these rolling symptoms. They call them long COVID, long haulers. They call them long haulers at first. Not then, because they didn't know much about it. But eventually, and my symptoms, various symptoms kept coming and going and coming and going. But mine were mild, thank goodness. They were mild. And every once in a while, I'll still have a little bit of a symptom, like a little bit of a headache and a little bit of, I can't taste things right. They don't taste right. Or, the taste is not like it had been. And there was one time recently that my sense of smell was so, high that everything seemed to smell. You want to let me over here? Seeing that I do have now see, my SUV would beep at me if somebody's too close. It pulls me back in my own lane if I'm out of my lane. If I'm too close to the the lines and all. First time, I think it was the first time it did that to me, was around what they used to call Dead Man's Curve. They should still call it. It's kind of real bad. And it's just real, that's a real word, isn't it? But anyway, it's just a bad curve on the road, and it took over for me, and I was like, what the crap? I did not know they was going to do that. It's got a lot of bells and whistles, and I like it. His is more expensive in it. He got it the year before then, I think, or at the end of the year before that. And his doesn't have all those bells and whistles. His has different ones, I guess, but not anything like that's protective, as far as I know. Except for that it's a big SUV, and that's not necessarily protective now, is it? But anyway, are you enjoying looking at the sky? I just see that. Mine is hard to make a video on it because it jumps around a lot, the mount, and so it makes it all jumping around. But anyway, I do wonder if other people have noticed this, if other people have commented. See, I watch mine on TV, the videos that I watch generally, pretty much always. Ooh, that guy's about to lose his ladder. I won't be anywhere close to you losing your ladder. And I've actually had 2 ladders before on the same, somebody my dad knew, and it was on the same top of a van. The guy was traveling in front of me, and they flew off, and I was going to Galveston Island. And the guy decided to blame me that I was traveling too close to him. BS. I don't travel close to anybody. But yeah, and they flew, and luckily they flew in a way that they just went right over. I think I was in a truck. I don't know. But they just went right over instead of hitting the windshield. And it was me and my brother. It was scary. Yeah, and he was ticked off too that the guy tried to blame us. It was one of my dad's friends. So just a little story to add in there. Just that at that point, I was the only one person who's kind of, not wanting to get too close. It's just dangerous. Even if it's just the way the thing is, it's just dangerous. Anyway, so this video was not just about those people, huh? The people who do that. Now, see, I'm not a fan of calling people trash. Adam went through the two kinds of trash people call, I think, both of them, and but that's trashy. Still, it's trashy kind of behavior. Is to not pay attention to what you're doing. What is your job? Why do people go through these services? Some of the reasons, should they have to put up with what you are doing with your hands? Wiping your sweat off of you, running through greasy, oily hair. Why do you have such bad hygiene and the habits all around? Does that customer deserve all that? Does their family deserve all that? Does anybody deserve all that? No. And to see people going into stores and doing things like coughing on products in a store, and they're not doing it on purpose. I said that. This is just something that they do. They got to cough. Why are you coughing so much? Why aren't you wearing a mask in the first place? Really? Maybe they're not mandatory where you live, but you're doing a service. Okay? And you should be thinking about somebody other than yourself. You don't care about your health. Think about other people. And these. Anyway, I'm not going there. I'm wrapping this up though.